They'll be calling you a radical. By the way, the U on the hill's not for Uinta or Utah, it's for usury. Jesus died so I could be rich. That's where the fire was. I'm going to talk about General Electric, how this society, this epic salmon collapse, the numbers are in. Growth for the sake of growth is the ideology of cancer cells. So we're going to talk about the salmon numbers. I'll get to those. We're going to talk about, geez, liquidating assets in front of the USS Reagan trial. I'm going to talk about that but first I want to just briefly talk about this in South Ogden, Utah and Uinta. I stuccoed almost all those houses across there. I was the biggest stucco contractor in the area for a long time. Real stuff. I never switched to the fake. You know, before I got cancer, you know, the whole health nightmare catastrophe that I was given 2 months to live 6 years ago. So when they first started developing that, whatever, I was involved, and the Forest Service was involved, everybody was involved, old timers, all there said, you can't build, this is on the south-north, it burns all the time. And, you know, it burned a bunch of houses, and they were right. But here in Utah, now you think about it, they call themselves Christians, evangelicals, Mormons, everything. They're not Christians, they're the opposite. The basis foundation of any Christianity is usury, right? Is anti-usury. They're the most usury. Buy here, pay here. Johnny got his gun. I mean, thou shalt kill. I mean, they're completely the opposite. They abuse their population, all thing. They rip off everybody any chance they got, you know, as far as when you go to buy something, car dealer, whatever. I mean, it's outrageous. The banks, whatever, all of them here. They're corrupt as hell. You know, they'll build anywhere. The Great Salt Lake's going dry. That's Hillfield where the lightnings fly out of. The Great Salt Lake's going dry, so they're all happy. Now, mark my words, they'll develop right there at Farmington Station. We made it, you know, I was on that committee, nothing west of the Legacy Highway. Well, Farmington Station's built, the Cabela's is built right where the tundra swans used to rest. They're endangered. How did they pull that off? They changed west. West is not west anymore. So, to the salmon epic collapse numbers. So the Chinook numbers, it's pretty well done. The major runs over. It just ended 2 days ago. You know, they'll trickle in now. They're at 430,000, 437,000 for the year. Catastrophe. Now this is on the Bonneville, the Columbia. So this is the healthy of them all. The Willamette, now this is important. The Willamette, they've pulled down the graphs. I mean, it's extinction stuff. In Washington, extinction stuff. Idaho, now remember this is on record escaping. Now hear me out. Now we'll talk real, and then I'll get back to salmon numbers. General Electric is liquidating assets right now. They sold a big major division to a Swiss company illegally. The wheels of injustice, the USS Reagan case is ongoing. It's been pushed forward. It's been, the appeal, they lost all the appeals. They cannot sell and liquidate assets. It's against law. But the Trump administration, like the Obama administration, they let these guys run rickshaw. They don't care what they do. There's no wrong or right. There's only popular opinion. Popular opinion is like they bow, you trading in your health for somebody else's will. The Pacific Ocean's dying. Freaking G's the one who killed you. They mass murdered you, and you're okay with it. So, hear me out. So here's the salmon numbers, and I'll post them. Now this is real important. Real important. This is absolute 100% proof that Fukushima's done this. The steelhead go to sea for 1 to 2 years. They can make 2 cycles. They started to collapse in 2012 on cue. Why? Because they, just what I said. They go to sea. So you can walk right down the ladder. 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, to they're the point where they're on the borderline of extinction. And Trump takes a knee and will not stand up for the Endangered Species Act, just like Barry Antoinette Obama. You know, Mitchell Act, Oregon, Washington, California, Idaho have filed for federal disaster. They declared it a disaster, yet they want you to come up, I mean, they want it both ways. It's a disaster. So let's get to the Chinook. They go to sea on average for 5 years, and this is why this is so important. Now remember, they had some pretty low numbers in 2008, 2007, but that was on escapement. The turbines were eating up. One of the greatest ecological success stories in environmentalism history, and I was involved with that, was the comeback of the Pacific salmon, because they cleaned up the rivers, got the turbines straightened out to where record escapement. So hear me out, this is real important. That record escapement in 2011, 2012, record 2010, record escapement, the biggest escapement ever in history was 2012. So that's how they project the numbers. So let's talk about this year's NOAA projection, and then we'll get to the later projections, the earlier ones, excuse me. Their projection this year for the Chinook on the Bonneville was right around 2 years ago was 2 million. They lowered the projection to right around 1 million. It came in at 430,000. That's enough for the Endangered Species Act right there. They lowered, I mean, it's a catastrophe. The Stillhead projection, freaking, this year was at around 250,000. 2 years ago, the projection was 400,000. They're at 100,000. That's on the most healthy. The Willamette came in at 95% collapse. All the Washington, because we wouldn't know, Washington won't report numbers. I call up there all the time. You know, there's rape allegations through that division. Oh, I mean, it's a joke. It's a nightmare. You know, WDFW, I mean, talk about need to clean house. So at least ODFW posts numbers. I have to rattle their chain constantly and call them, even from Europe when I was there. So, let's talk about this. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. This is important. Record escapement. So, the Chinook at 437, they're going to come in around 460,000 is what they're going to come in for the year. The season's pretty well over. In 2015, they had 1.33 million. 2014, 1.2 million. 2011, 1.1 million. The projected number then for 2016 was 1.7 million. It came in at 688,000. The projected number then for 2017, because of record escapement was 2.1 million. Came in at 430,000. Now this is important because they'll say themselves it's the pasture. It's not a pasture, it's the Pacific Ocean. They have already verified it's not the turbines, it's not the rivers, it's not the overfishing, it's not the illegal gill netting, it's the pasture. That's been unarguable. Again, it's absolute 100% proof. We don't count dead whales, I do. We don't count dead sardines, I don't. We don't count dead anchovies, I do. I'll be headed to California soon. Just tying up some loose ends here, and I'm going to do my ungratefully dead tide pools tour, and I'll hit all 15 counties. San Diego, let's get this right this time, Kev. San Diego County. Then we'll move up to Los Angeles County, San Onofre, and you know, I'll do another video talking about San Onofre, that dog and pony, how nice it's we've invented derelicus. Mike and Gary crying, oh, the consent base won't show up, they won't show up, they won't show up. They says, okay, we'll come. Then he doesn't show up. And to you, Donna, Gary's a clown. And so, I mean, he's on the winning team. Just like how nice is that? Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get a big old sack. Went off to Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. How they invented derelicus. Derelicus. That's an old Bob Dylan song, right? He cries, they won't come, they won't come. He doesn't show up. Puts up a presentation. I come from Utah. I'm there, commenter number 19. You know, and I want to tell you people, San Onofre, you think it's your issue? No, it's ours here. You buried the freaking nuclear, you buried the generator right there illegally. I went up there full of leukemia 100 times over the legal limits. The generator's there in our backyard. So whose issue is it? So, back to the salmon numbers, sorry. So, record escapement, so San Diego County, then I'll hit Los Angeles County, boom, San Onofre. I'll put up my signs, not on the fucking beach. They'll be done today. I'm picking them up at the university. So then to Ventura County, which I've already done all this all before, at least once in all of them, some of them twice. Santa Barbara County, San Luis Obispo, Diablo, I've done so much work there. There's so many tide pool videos all over there. Then of course Monterey, all that historic work I did last year, 1 bat star on the entire peninsula. I did it for free, grassrooters. Monterey Aquarium even told me thank you. So, I mean, you think somebody would send me a check from those guys. No, they're too busy giving government grants to fake studies. So then we move up from Monterey to Santa Cruz. I've got lots of videos there, Davenport, all kinds of them there, county. Then San Mateo, lots of, I mean, they're deader than dead in San Mateo. Then, of course, San Francisco County, Ocean Beach, we got them there. Then Marin County, we've got lots of Point Rez, great work in there, 2014, 2015, 2016. I got all kinds of videos. Then Sonoma, see you soon, see ya, C-S-E-A, in Sonoma, you know. Then up to Mendocino, and then to Humboldt, then to Del Norte. I got them. So I'll be there soon, and we'll get it documented. My work is historic. It's historic. By the way, remember, I was given 2 months to live in all these tide pool videos, walking up and down that coast, traveling all over the world. Megan Rice hearing, San Onofre, USS Reagan. Google them all. You're going to get me. Without me, it didn't get done. And remember, I was in critical condition, given 2 months to live. I had platelet counts of 38, and Had a bad aortic valve. I mean, I went through so much pain out there on that ridge. Had my heart split open May 1st. I had open heart surgery May 1st. That aortic valve was, I mean, because I think everybody thought I would die on the cliffs at Gorda, which I almost did. Out there by myself, documenting this on my own. I mean, of course, it's spite that I was ever born to set this right. I have some room for you, you nuclear biologists. I have some for all of you. I have some for me. I already took mine. But you must wear yours with a difference. For Cassandra and Hamlet had a baby named Kevin Blanche. And nuclears, you nuked my father to death in the Nevada test site. And he ceased for miles and miles. I would give you some flowers, some daisies, but they all wilted and died when you murdered my father in the Nevada test site. You, not for Utah, usury! Up is down, black is white, green is red. Jill Stein is freaking bank accounts, so anything green about the movement. See you soon at San not on the fucking beach. I got some great posters. You know, my big posters too are still for sale. You know, I got a lot of work to do, tie up here the next few days before I go. So, Kevin Blanche, the salmon numbers are an absolute, I'll post the numbers in the comments and in the description. It's an absolute catastrophe. It's 100% unarguable. The greatest PhD ever done. Kevin D. Blanche, the Great Pacific Genocide. Hypothesizes it's going to give you cancer, it's going to give you cancer, it's going to genocide the Pacific Ocean, they're going to lie, they're just going to push it in, they're going to push it in, they're going to cover up, it's going to genocide, you're going to break the chain, you're going to break the illuminescence, Fukushima going to pour, it's freaking, it's going to break the chain, the sardines, anchovy, they're all going to go, it's going to be a catastrophe. Then you do the field work. I did all the full, I traveled the entire world, fighting with them in Vienna at the UN, fighting while I was sick, with no money. My bill was 1.8 million, I was a millionaire when I got sick. I forked it over right there. I was at LDSE bone marrow transplant. I will quote Celeste. Kevin, I'm so proud of you. When you come in here, I prepared your paperwork. I fully expected preparing your paperwork within the week, going out in a body bag. She says, I ranked you as a red 10. We put you as a red 10 on your vitals, whatever. You're the only red 10 in 26 years I've ever seen walk out of here. And I did it without a bone marrow transplant. And thank you to Vincent Hansen, who lives right there, who saved my life, and my uncle from the grave, the great, incredible Thomas Blanche, one of the great freaking heart surgeons in history, who invented a lot of, who died tragically, you know, several years ago. Thank you to him. He saved me from the grave. He says, don't you let him open you until you think him and Vincent were partners. And Vincent knew me. They told me, they sent me home with hospice. And he saved me. Thank you to Dr. Connors for saving my heart, and Dr. Collado for saving me. And this is real important. Right over here is Ogden Regional Medical Center. I'm going to sue them for malpractice. I'm trying to get an attorney to work on it. They have an advertising campaign that says right now, if you're having heart failure, you're having heart pains, you pop into our emergency room right here. That's exactly what I did. Twice. Bleeding profusely, whatever. Scumbags, whatever. I mean, it was, I told him, it's my heart, it's my heart. I can feel it. It's my valve, it's my heart, it's my heart. They told me to go see my dentist, sent me home full of blood, whatever, and I went home and I collapsed in the yard. And I don't know how I didn't die. Not to mention, my doctor says it could have been fixed back then, but I had full blown out, my chest split open on heart surgery because of a couple scumbag doctors in there. Well, they're not even doctors, they're PAs. They lie, it's false advertising, they're criminals. But again, here, you traded in Utah and around the country, you traded in your health, your family's health, your loved ones for someone else's wealth. And believe me, you're not Christians. No, Jesus did not die so you could be rich. Jesus did not say, thou shalt kill. He said, feed the hungry, heal the afflicted, anti-usury. Stay tuned.